Hello and welcome. So in this video I'm decluttering my Tupperware cupboard, and throughout I'll be giving tips and tricks on how to do it successfully, at least how I do it successfully. So the first step that I like to take is to clean the whole kitchen space. I feel like a clear space gives me a clearer mind and I feel more ready to take on the task. I especially focus on cleaning the floors. I do that first by sweeping, and then I use a little bit of bleach but mostly water, and I use a flathead mop that I can use a little spray nozzle on to clean the floors. I also like to put down a cushion because, let's be real, we're going to be here for a while, so you might as well get comfortable. I lay down a towel as well. As you can see, my Tupperware drawer in the before is not looking fantastic. It has a disheveled appearance, it's not aesthetic, and it's also not very functional. So I take everything out and I basically dump it on the towel. And some of it doesn't fit on the towel, so there are little bits on the floor as well, which is why it was very important to clean to begin with. Another step I like to take is to put a soft brush attachment on my vacuum cleaner, or hoover if you're British like I am, and hoover the inside of the cupboard, paying particular attention to the corners. So now we're on to the main attraction. I sit down comfortably and I start matching containers to lids. If you can't find a lid for a certain container, that's a very easy one to add to the discard pile. While I'm doing this, I like to think about what exactly I want to keep, and I start creating a maybe pile. So I have like two criteria I use for this. So I think about what is actually useful to me. What do I use my Tupperware for? And for me, I use them as lunch boxes. I use them to store meal preps, and I use them to keep fresh, partially used vegetables. Like if I cut an onion and I don't use the whole onion, for example. So for those things, there are a range of sizes I need. The other criteria is, does it spark joy? All hail our Lord and Savior, Marie Kondo. I really like Tupperware that has unusual shapes, like especially the circular one, so I am trying to keep those in my collection. And in the long run, I would like to eventually transition to mostly glass Tupperware for the versatility. So I'm also keeping those because those two categories spark joy. The last thing is, if you can, upcycle. So I have these tubs that once used to contain soup, and I love them as Tupperware because basically I can put vegetables in them and put them in the fridge. I have quite a small fridge and it doesn't take up very much space because it is taller rather than wider. Now we're on to the organized mess, which is piles and piles and piles of things. And how I like to categorize my pile is that I have a discard pile, I have a pile of things that I want to keep, and while they are outside of the cupboard, I like to organize them in how they would be stacked within the cupboard. I try to keep similar shapes together. Most Tupperware do stack, so if you have the same type of Tupperware, they will often stack together. I try to keep similar-ish color palettes together, but that's not always possible. And the most important thing is to go from the biggest on the bottom to the smallest on the top, because that usually makes for more stability in the pile. The last thing that you want is for unstable piles to tip over and ta-da, you have a messy Tupperware cupboard again. So stability is incredibly important. We're on to the last step. So now that you've decided what you want to keep, you need to then pile them in the cupboards. My approach is to have easy accessibility to anything within the cupboards. I find that if I'm going to have to dig around the cupboard to find something I need, the chances of me reassembling the mess I have made once I have found the thing I need are slim to none realistically. So I have the tallest piles in the back with no more than 3 or 4 in a pile. The pile in front of them has no more than 2. And things that I use frequently I put at the front. So basically, that's everything, and as you can tell, my new Tupperware cupboard is looking a lot better than the disaster that it began as. And if any of these tips work for you, I would love to hear about it, so comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you and your plants grow well.